The first thing that I'm going to tell you about a home care agency and the jobs that are available there, I'm not going to even talk about our specific agency because it applies to any home care agency, whether it's ours and where we service, or it's right here in the Jamaica area. So don't put your hat on thinking about the agency that we own. Think of it about as the whole home care arena and if you would fit in. So before I'm going to tell you about what a home care agency is, the types of home care agencies that there are, the types of clients that you can take care of, the first thing I'm going to ask you, because this is the #1 gift, talent that you need to have. The question for you to ask yourself is not, do I want to work for a home care agency, but am I a caring, compassionate person? And if you can answer amen, yes to that, well then listen up, because then maybe this is the job for you. I said, you just use the word job because that's of course what your ultimate goal is. But when you're working in home care, it's more of a calling than it is a job. If you're just out there looking for a job, turn around, go back out, because the work is hard, the work is challenging, and it doesn't pay a whole heck of a lot. So if you are just looking for a job, you won't last here. Don and I still wouldn't be owning this little shindig if that's what it was all about. But if you feel in your heart that you want to take care of those that are aging, those that are sick and infirm, those that are vulnerable, that other people come along and take advantage of, if you have the kindness and the compassion to care for that type of person, well then this is the right job for you. You're in. Exactly. Exactly. So that's the first thing you need. Care agency provides aids, home health aids, for people who have certain needs. Some people just want companionship, and they're pretty able to walk around and, do for themselves, go to CVS, pick up their medicine, go do their food shopping, but they really dislike doing it alone. They have part of what we do. You can have no certification, but you just have the kindness that you want to help people out. You just want to be with them, talk with them, maybe get them into bed at night, so when they close their eyes, they remember somebody was there with them until the next day when they maybe will see you again. We hear so much, a companion to somebody. So that's one segment of what an aide does. They're just companion. They don't have the certification, but they want to go in and help somebody. Most of our cases that we deal with are people who we say have ADLs. That means activities of daily living that they need help with. ADLs. That could be bathing, dressing, toileting, feeding themselves. Something went on. Maybe they had a stroke. Maybe it's just due to old age, but they can't do them by themselves. They might have Parkinson's and they shake too much, so they can't, feed themselves, they can't dress. So when it is a person like that actually needs some type of, we call it hands-on care. Obviously, if you're dressing and bathing somebody, you're doing hands-on care, right? It's not just that companion where you're just talking to somebody, walking with them to go to the grocery store. You're actually touching, hands-on care. That we need to have. New York State requires that we have some type of certification for that then, if you're going to do the hands-on care. Not the companion care, but we call it personal care, hands-on care, and that's what you need the certification for, and that's called an HHA. Anybody familiar with that? So it's the Home Health Aid Certification. There are several places in Jamaica and in Far Rockaway that give the course that you sit for, that you take. It's a 2-week course, and they give you the state certification. There's an exam after you take the course. They give you the state certification, and then you become an HHA. You have your own certification. And then you can work for any agency, whether it's just companion care or the personal hands-on care. you're able to do that once you get that certification. And then you can go work for any agency. You're not limited to mine or to ones here just in Jamaica, anywhere at all. So two types of agencies also. There are agencies that only send people out on companion care cases. They're called companion agencies. And then there are those that are licensed agencies that can do the personal care as well as skilled care. Most of the skilled, the nurses take care of, but it's part of the same agency. So when you're going into an agency, it's if you have that HHA, if you go for that certification, you probably want to use it. Not that it's still a wrong thing to do just companion care, but if you get that certification, if you go to school and get that HHA, use it. You worked hard for it. So use it and go to what is called a licensed agency. If you walk into one of these agencies and you're a companion to the person because you're talking to them, but you're also able to do more for them. You're also able to help them in the shower. You're also able to help them, eat and do other types of personal care types of things. So that's the differences within the two agencies. Now there's two types of certifications. I talked about the HHA, which many of you shook your head, you knew about. That's the home health aide. Also, these schools give another type of certification, which is called the CNA. You familiar with that term? Yes. Certified Nurse Assistant. If you have a CNA, you can work in a rehab, a rehab where people go, a rehabilitation nursing facility. So a person fell, they broke their hip, maybe they had surgery, and now they need physical and occupational therapy to get better before they can assimilate back into the community, back into their home. Okay, that's called a rehab facility. You can work in one of those facilities, or you can work in a hospital if you have the CNA. But if you have that CNA, the Certified Nurse Assistant Certificate, and you don't have the HHA, and you come to an agency, let's say like mine, and say, I want to work in a house with somebody. Do you think I can hire you to do that if you just have the CNA? No. The CNA is to work in one of those facilities or the hospital. And the HHA is to work in somebody's residence, in their home. What a lot of people have is what?
The HHA.
They have both. A lot of people have both. So if we get a call for someone to work in a facility, we look and see, okay, who's a CNA as well, and we can send